Hi, this is Darren from Property Prosperity. I've actually had a viewer question for me today, and it's about a specific property. They actually had their property on the market for quite a while now, and they're struggling to try and sell it. So they've asked me to, what's going on? How come we haven't sold our property? Is there any advice you can give us? So they were nice enough to let me review their property over Facebook Live, and hopefully, obviously they're going to get some benefit out of it, and hopefully you're going to get some benefit out of it too. So thanks for the like, and yeah, if you like what I have to say, then click on the like button. If you don't like it, then still click on the like button because I really appreciate it. So obviously the property's in Adelaide. It's in the suburb of Craigmore. I'm just having a look at the advert on realestate.com at the moment while we're looking through. It's a crazy nice house. It looks really impressive. The photos look really impressive. So the first thing I'm looking at is how the agent's marketing the house, and that's my number one thing. Is okay, what's going on with the situation? I can see there's heaps of photos on there. The quality of the photos is good. Yeah, the photos are really good. So there's no issues as far as the photos goes. The house itself, it's going to appeal to a lot of people. I can't see anyone, no one's going to come in hating the house. It's presented really well, so that's the first good sign. One thing I have noticed on here, it doesn't have a video. I'm a big fan of videos because it allows you to be able to sell the house before people actually get and have a look at it. Sometimes people, just purely based on the photos, they're a bit apprehensive and not really sure about the house. So sometimes photos can be a little bit sterile because there's no people in it. So I'm a big fan of videos as far as that's concerned. Again, the reason they haven't sold the house is not because they don't have a video in this particular case, I don't think. But we'll go through it as we go, so we'll try and work it out. So that's my first thing. My tip was a video is pretty useful. Looking at the way the agents marketed the property, they've put a little bit of a story about the property, and then they've just put a whole pile of dot points. I am a big fan of doing a bit of a story, like putting a bit of a, this agent's only put, I don't know, 4 or 5 lines of story and then just dot points, 3 bed, 2 bath, double garage, high ceilings, all that sort of stuff. So I am a big fan of writing a bit of a story. Some people are into reading, some people hate that, so I also do dot points as well, but I do try and fill that out to let people fall in love with the house basically, because dot points can be sometimes a little bit impersonal. The other thing I've noticed in here, it doesn't have a lot of the detail stuff, so the things I put in there, I put in council rates and water rates, a square meterage of the house, square meterage of the block, all the really detailed things, the zoning, lots of different things like that. Again, a lot of people won't care, but there'll be some people that are full into detail. So at the end of the day, you've got that information there, so just put that on the advert as well. The more information, the better as far as I'm concerned. So that's my view as far as the advert goes. So, in the scheme of things, it's not a terrible advert. I think it's pretty much fine. There's not much else we can do there. So then we look at the house itself and the location. So it's a 4-bedroom, it's got 3 bathrooms, and it's got a double garage. So, which is quite impressive and appealing. Again, what you're trying to do is you're comparing that against the market and the average of the market. So basically the average of the market, or the median they talk about, the median house price. So we're saying, does the average person in this area have a 4-bedroom, 3 bathroom, double garage house? And if the answer is no, it doesn't mean that no one's going to buy it. You just know there's less people within that market that are willing to buy this house than if it was, say, a 3-bedroom house. And likewise, if it was a 2-bedroom house, there's less people in the market willing to buy a 2-bedroom house versus a 3-bedroom house. So the thing to understand, at the end of the day, it's all about supply and demand. So obviously, there's not a lot of properties like this. So supply-wise, it should be quite appealing to people. The issue, though, is demand-wise. Is there demand there for this type of house? It's a 2-story house. It's quite impressive. So that's the thing. Is there enough demand? As you go further and further outside where the median house price is, there's less and less people that are willing to buy that house because it's not that they can't afford it. It's just they might look in other suburbs. So if you're right at the top end of that suburb, then people might be looking at another suburb which might be closer to town or closer to the beach or closer to some other appealing features. So that's my first thing. I noticed here that the agent has put contact agent on the price. I'm a bit of a fan for putting a price on there, to be honest. I know some people, the agent's logic behind that is if people don't know the price, and they'll give us a call and then we can try and sell it. In my experience and talking to a lot of owners and buyers, if you don't put a price on there, a lot of people just disregard it and they don't even call. And so you've missed out on a potential person that, maybe it is a bargain. Maybe people think, oh man, I want to buy that. If they don't know the price, they're going to assume it's overpriced. So again, I'm not a big fan of not putting a price on there. So now let's have a look at the suburb itself. So the suburb, we can see the median house price in this suburb is $310,000. So if we want to be the average price this area, then we want our house to be worth around about $310,000. I know without even looking, I know it's contact agent, so it doesn't actually tell us what price they're selling it for. but I know it's going to sell for more than that because it's a substantial house. You know, that area you could probably buy a block of land for 150 to 170. So let's say 170 for a block of land. Trying to build that house or replacing that house on there is going to cost probably $300,000 or ish or more even potentially. So minimum 270, probably 330 up to 330. So let's say 300,000 in the middle. So we add 170 to 300,000. We're at $470,000. So we know even without the agent telling us what the house is worth, we know that if we just wanted to buy a block of land and build a house on there, we're talking at least 470. So that's the first thing. Then if I come down, and we know the median house price is 310. So even if without even knowing what the agent's selling the house for, we know that it's way above where the average house is in the area, which means there's just less people that are willing to buy the property. So we can sort of see, is there anything else interesting in here? Not particularly that I need to look at. So then actually look at the sale process, because the thing is, at the end of the day, selling a house is all about having a strategy and understanding what that strategy is going to be from the start, and then sticking with it, basically. So if you come and have a bit of a look here, so this is probably what the main concern is, and obviously this is why the owners contacted me. They first put it on the market in May 2014, and we're in July 2016. So it's been on the market for 2 and a bit years. So that's too long, basically. So what that means is people know it's been on the market for a long time, and so what happens? Things probably just go stale. It's just a bit like, if you drive to work every day and there's a sign there, there's hundreds and hundreds of signs on your drive on the way to work, and you don't notice any of them. But when a new sign pops up, then suddenly, whoa, look, what's that new sign? What's that all about? And you'll see that sign, but all the other hundreds of signs you've driven past on the way to work, you've totally ignored. So same sort of thing when you're selling a property. People are keeping an eye out for the new properties, and they quite often just disregard the old properties if they've been there for a while. They're like, oh, I've already seen that one, let's ignore that one, and they're purely focused on the new one. So when I'm trying to sell a property, I'm really focused on, doing my absolute best that very first open. That's when we get the most amount of people. That's when the most amount of interest happens. So that's basically when you're going to try and sell the property. The first open is the most important, and from then on, everything's downhill from there. So the second open, you're going to get less people. Third open, fourth open, you're just going to get less and less people for every open. So you can imagine after a couple of years, you get no one coming to your opens. So, and you're probably at a point now, they probably don't even do opens anymore. So, and that's my thing too. When someone comes to an open, I want them to come to my open and have 100 people lined up down the driveway and down the street rocking up, because then at the end of the day, that creates that sense of urgency, and they know that there's scarcity. They know they have to put in an offer quickly. And if I say I've got multiple offers, which I'm not going to lie to people, if I say I've got multiple offers, then they know I'm telling the truth because they've seen there's 100 people there. Whereas if you've been on the market for 2.5 years and you have what's called a private viewing, so you have one person rock up whenever they feel like it, they're walking around by themselves, they know there's no one else interested, they know they're the only person in there, so they know they can offer crazy low offers, so they've got no sense of urgency, they can take their time, they can have a look around, so it can become really frustrating. The other thing, as far as the owner's concerned, it's a hassle having open inspections. If I'm not sure if they're living there, if they're renting it out, or if it's vacant or whatever, but if they're renting it out, it's a hassle trying to organise that with the tenants, because the thing is, your house has to look the best it's ever looked for every single open, because you don't know who the person is going to buy the property. So you want to make sure that one person that's going to pay you top dollar sees it as absolute best. Think about having a property on the market for 2 years. You can't. It's just too tiring. It just kills you, basically. So, and you'll get to the point where you're just like, I can't be bothered cleaning it today, and I can't be bothered mowing the lawn, and I can't be bothered to, tidy up the dishes, or whatever it is. Before you know it, the potential buyers are just working in around your lifestyle rather than you working in around the buyers. At the end of the day, the buyers are the king. They want the money, so you've got to impress them as much as possible. And it's just hard to do that. When I have opens, I have 2 opens a week because I'm trying to build that momentum. They come to the first open, they come back to the second open, they come to the third open, and then people are signing contracts basically. So in the situation where you just got private viewings or you have one open every weekend, you're just going to get so few people there. There's not going to have that momentum. So that's my first thing. And the next thing then was you look at the actual sale process. So what happened when it first went on the market and then where it's at right now. So basically we know right now it's on the market as contact agent, which means who knows what it's worth. But when it first came on the market, it was on the market at $565,000. That was in May 2014. So my first feedback would be, looking at what the median house price, I don't know what the median house price was back in May 2014, but we know now it's, 330-ish. And the thing is, median house prices, they can be a little bit deceptive because they change every month. But if we look at the median house price for last month was 310, the month before was 250, the month before that was 260, the month before that was 270, then 280. So in reality, even though it says the median house price is 310, in reality it's probably around about 270, 280 is probably the average of all the medians. So in reality, we should be using a 280 as our median house price. So we can even see, and again, my judgment on what price the house goes on the market for, I'm not saying the house isn't worth that. I'm just saying people are looking at it relative to other houses. So when the median house price is 280 and you've got it on the market at 565, you're talking like double what the median house price is. So if you understand you're marketing at double where the median house price is, you have to understand we have to do something exceptional to get that double the median house price, which means you have to make that property stand out, and you have to have a plan. How are we going to get people to realize this house is freaking amazing? It's better than everything else around, and it can't just be a little bit better than everything else around. This has to be 2.5 times better than everything else around, or 3 times better than everything else around, because then it's going to get, then if they buy it for double the price of a median house price, they're getting a bargain. We want people to feel like this is a bargain, and we want people to fight over it. So the issue you're going to get when it's 565 relative to 280 as a median house price, you have to be doing something pretty exceptional to make it stand out from everything else. So again, what's your agent doing to make it stand out? If they're just putting it on the internet and then having an open inspection and handing out a few flyers, that's not going to make it exceptional. You have to blow people away. It has to be extreme, whatever you're going to be doing. So that's my first feedback. The other thing, if you look at just purely based on replacement value, if blocks of land are selling there for 170, it's going to cost you 300,000 to build the house. So that's 470. If it's on the market at 570 or 565 as it was when it originally came up, that's essentially 100 grand more than what someone could just buy a block of land and build it themselves. And again, I'm not saying the house might have been worth more than $300,000. So again, it might be worth that. But again, from people's viewpoint, they're saying, hey, I can just build this myself and it's going to be a lot cheaper. It's going to be 100 grand cheaper. And the problem you get to is agents don't market the actual price the house is going to cost to build. So, I'm saying it'll cost $300,000 to build this house. A builder would be marketing to build a 2-story house. They're going to say, $230 to build a 2-story house, when in fact it's not true. But in people's mind, because they've talked to a builder and he said, I can build a house here for $230 that looks the same as that, they're adding $230 to $170. They're saying, hey, it should be worth $400,000. So that's part of the issue as well, that people have misleading understanding of what actually costs to build a house. So they're relativing to a number that doesn't even exist. So we can see it sat on the market for quite a while, several months, and then it came from 565 down to 520, and then after that dropped down to 499, and then sat many months at 499. So it sat with the same agent for quite a long time. And then 174 days, in fact, so that's quite a long time. And obviously, in that time period, it's dropped from 565 down to 500,000, basically. So, that's 65 grand that our owners has lost out, and that's some serious money in everyone's world. That's crazy amounts of money. So probably my advice as far as that goes, you need to know what the house is worth before you even put it on the market. So putting it on the market, just picking a price, to be honest, it doesn't matter what you think your house is worth, and it doesn't matter what the agent thinks your house is worth. It's what the market thinks. So your agent should have a plan of how am I going to work out what the market thinks my house is worth. And the key is you've got to work that out really quickly, because you put that, remember I said it's the first time it goes on the market is the most important time. So if you put it on the market and it's overpriced, you've got to be prepared to drop the price really quick. Remember, we get the most people in the first week and the second week, so we're going to drop it within like a week, which I know it's going to be extreme for people and it's going to be very scary. But at the end of the day, the market's going to pay what the market's going to pay, and you can't really control that. So in this example, when it went on the market at 565, we should have got 100 people to come and look at this house. And we don't care who the 100 people are. We want the market. And the market, whether they're buying it or they're not buying it, we want the market to come and tell us what it's worth. And if they're saying it's worth 470 and we've got a market at 570, we need to drop the price straight away, back down to 470, because they're the market at the end of the day, and they're the ones that are going to buy it. So the agent's not going to buy it. The owner's not going to buy it. It's what So if you're not willing to accept the feedback from the market and drop it straight away, then just take it off the market. At the end of the day, if you have your first open, you get 100 people there, and you've got it on the market at 570, 100 people guess that it's worth 470, take it off the market. Like, if you don't want 470, it's not going to sell. So that's probably my advice, and I know it's not a good thing to hear, but that's what I would do. Just be honest with the owner. That's what I'd be doing with my owners. I'd say, hey, if it hasn't sold, it hasn't sold. What am I going to do anything differently than I've already done? And if I haven't put the effort in up front to market the property as well as I possibly can and get the most amount of people there, then that's my fault as a real estate agent. But if I get all the people there and they're all telling me it's worth 470 and it's on the market at 570, what am I going to do as a real estate agent? People are going to pay what people want to pay, essentially. So then it sat on the market for 174 days, and then they ended up dropping the price. They took it off and they put it with another agent, and they put it on the price at 429 to 439. So now you can see the price is pretty realistic relative to what I said it costs to buy a block of land and build a house. So suddenly it is a bargain. And the thing is, it sat there with another agent then for another 288 days. So, and he started at 479 to 499, and he just kept dropping the price, going back down to 429 to 439. The thing is, it's not the price now. You know, it's been on the market so long that the property's stale. No one even knows it exists anymore. It's on page 25 of realestate.com. No one even cares anymore, and this is the problem. Now, you know, we've dropped the price from 565 down to 429. You know, we've dropped 140 grand on the price, you know, and it may not be the price. You know, this is the frustrating thing. And then what happened then, the agent obviously didn't sell the property, and it switched to another agent now, and he put on the price at the same price as the previous agent, 429 to 439. Essentially, he's probably just doing exactly the same thing. So if the other agent didn't sell at 429 to 439, then what's the new agent going to be doing differently? And that's the question. If the agent's going to do something different, that's great. If the agent just says, oh, I've got a database of buyers, you know, I don't know. I don't think that's the strategy of trying to sell a property, really. So if that's the only strategy an agent's got, then just move on to another agent and find someone that's got something a bit more creative to do. And obviously, since then, he's dropped the price down to contact agent, essentially, which essentially means just offer whatever you think. But the thing is, you know, he's going with the assumption that people don't know what the original price was, but it's pretty easy to get on the internet and work out what something was originally on the market for. And we already know it's on the market for 429 to 439. The buyers are going to know it's been on the market for a couple of years. They then can come in offering a crazy low price, which is frustrating. So unfortunately, and with this particular situation, what's gone wrong? The house is awesome. The photos are awesome. There's nothing wrong with it, essentially. The strategy from the start was a bit flawed. It was probably a little bit overpriced from the start, or the agent wasn't clear or with what a realistic price was, or maybe the agent was clear, but the owner wasn't sure that was correct or not. Where the agent went wrong, they didn't prove to the owner that that's actually what it's worth. And the way you prove that is get 100 people there and get them to tell you what the house is worth. And if you get 100 people saying it's worth 470, it's worth 470. So this is a frustrating thing now. It could have been, you know, 470 was probably a fair price. 499 was probably a fair price right from the very start. Unfortunately, it wasn't till about 4 or 5 months down before it dropped down to 499. You know, and it might have been, if that went first on the market at 499, you might have got some offers at 470. You might have realized, you might have thought that was a bit low, but get 100 people offer 470, someone offer 475. It's a fair offer. Do we accept it? Do we not accept it? If we're not going to accept it, then take it off the market, because we've had 100 people already tell us it's worth 470. So that's pretty much my feedback from there. What can you do from now on? Obviously, you consider whether you actually want to sell it. If you don't want to sell it, then just take it off the market. And I'd probably, even if you do want to sell it, I'd probably suggest maybe even take it off the market again. Take it off the market, recalibrate, start again, and do something different. If you're not doing something different when you put it on the market again next, then you're going to get the same result. You know, the problem is now people have so much information. They know exactly this information, this history that I'm giving to you about the property. You know, people can pay $30 and find that information out. So it's not a secret anymore. So my advice to anyone putting their property on the market is make sure, obviously, you're going with an agent you trust. And if your agent says it's overpriced and you trust them, then you've got to take their advice. If you don't trust them and you're not sure, then get them to prove to you that it's overpriced. And then you do that by getting lots of people there and giving you lots and lots of feedback. So again, it might have been a lack of communication issue. You needed a lot of feedback from your owner, from the agent, to give you the confidence, hey, I'm going to drop this price by 100 grand in the space of a week, you know. And so you've got to believe, you've got to really have a lot of information to make that decision. So hopefully that's made sense. If you want some feedback on what you do now, I'm quite good at, I've had plenty of properties before where owners have had properties on the market for a year or more and haven't been able to sell it. And, you know, I put it on the market and I've sold it in like a week. So it is totally possible. Don't feel like you have to give up. There is ways of doing it. You need to do something different. If you're doing the same thing and expecting different results, then it's just not going to happen. You need to do things differently. So if you want me to talk about what to do differently in a future episode, let me know. I'm happy to do a little episode on that. I've gone on for a little bit too long now, but hopefully that's been really useful. I hope my owners got some value out of it. I hope that they're feeling a bit more informed. Again, it's not, you know, I'm not doing this as a bad way. I'm trying to do this to give people as much information as possible, because information is really valuable when you're looking at selling your house and considering your options. So the more information, the better. Good information, bad information, you know, if it's good news or bad news, it's still information that's valuable. We can help you make a decision going forward. So Hope you've liked what I had to say. If you haven't liked it, still click on the like button. If you have someone that you know had their property on the market for a long time, then click on the share button, because I'm sure they might appreciate this and might find it interesting. And if you'd like to make some comments, or you've had experience where you've had your property on the market for quite a while and you've been frustrated by the process, or you'd like me to have a chat about something else in the future, put a comment in the comment box. I'm happy to chat about whatever you want to chat about. So thanks, guys. I like talking to you tonight, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.